It was a full year ago that a Japan Airlines Airbus A350-900 collided with a Japan Coast Guard Bombardier -8. It was in the last days of December 2024 that the Japan Transport Safety Board released a preliminary report giving us a few more details about the tragic incident. We examine what the report has to say for today's video. If you're only finding out about this 2024 accident now, do check out our video on the topic, which we'll leave a link to in the description. An interesting thing about the collision that you may not have known before is that the interphone system of the A350 had stopped working after striking the -8. The cabin crew had to shout or use megaphones to communicate, instructing passengers to stay low and cover their noses to avoid smoke. At the same time, these crew members checked the fire outside their doors to see if it was safe to use and shared this information with their colleagues. About 6 minutes after landing, the emergency exits were opened, and the cabin crew instructed passengers to move forward and evacuate the aircraft. But to get to the causes of the accident, which were disclosed in the report, investigators believe that it was all the result of human error. This may not come as a surprise to many, but we do have more confirmed details. This preliminary report states that flight crew confusion was the primary cause of the accident, and that the Japan Coast Guard crew mistakenly assumed they had clearance to enter the runway. The report also stated that another reason for the collision was the Tokyo air traffic controller's failure to recognize that the Japanese Coast Guard -8 turboprop had entered the runway. The controllers also failed to notice that the runway occupancy alert, which was indicating a potential collision, had been sounding for about a minute. Voice recorder data from the January 2nd, 2024 accident revealed that the -8 crew's onboard discussions were focused solely on their mission to assist those affected by the magnitude 7.6 earthquake that struck the Noto Peninsula and surrounding areas the previous day, a factor which would have reduced their situational awareness during their aircraft's departure. Subsequently, the Japan Airlines A350 crew's inability to spot the -8 turboprop on the runway contributed to the accident as well. If the A350 flight crew had been able to spot the -8 on the runway, they would have performed a go-around. However, visibility was limited that day. For many in the aviation industry, it is no surprise that accident reports can take so long to come out. However, it is somewhat surprising that this December 25th report is only the preliminary report. In many cases, preliminary reports are issued within 1 or 2 months, while the final report comes out close to a year later. With this in mind, the contents of the preliminary report may change in the future as new information becomes available.